Alright, today I think we're just gonna catch up on. Alright, today I think we're just gonna catch up on some of the stuff going on around the shop. So let's start with James Brown, one of my absolute favorite cars in the world right now. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do a lot of work to it coming up. So a few weeks ago, I finished up the cooling system on the car, and I finished up the MAC valve install on the car, and I've been doing a bunch of testing with that, and everything seems to be working really well. I had it commanding 19 PSI and it would flow between like 18.5 and 20 PSI. It was great. That's totally fine. The cooling system seems to be working spectacular. The highest I've seen it get so far is 165, where the old setup would have been well over 220. And I took it out probably 5 days ago now, and I was just doing some street pulls with it, trying to data log and get everything figured out. And I made one pull. I got on the button, let it build up to about 8 pounds of boost, let off it spun. I knew it would. I didn't do a burnout or anything like that. It was, like I said, I was just testing if everything was commanding right and if it was actually getting there where it should be. I let off at 8 pounds, had to pedal it. It ramped up to 20, and then at the shift, it slowly fell down from about 19 all the way down to 10. And there was a huge puff of smoke from the passenger side of the engine. I thought I completely ruined this engine. I was 99% sure that this thing just popped right there, because I never gapped the rings for this, and 20 pounds is a pretty good amount for stock rings. So I was pretty sure that they butted together and lifted and broke a piston. That's what I thought happened. But I was able to drive the car back here. I pulled it into the garage and it sounded fine, so I let it idle for about a minute or so, and I was looking for smoke and oil and everything. I was thinking, well, maybe all that smoke. Lately, what's been happening is when I'll get into boost, it'll push the dipstick up like that, and it'll blow a little bit of oil out of there. So that's kind of what I thought happened. And the dipstick was, about there. So it wasn't coming from the dipstick, so I was looking around, looking underneath, didn't see anything. I was talking to my buddy Scott. You'll know him. He's the guy who built the turbo kit and did a lot of the wiring on the Firebird when I had that car. But I was talking to him, and I was like, man, I think I heard something in the motor. And he was like, it was probably the turbo. And I was like, it could be. Let me go take a look. And came out here, and I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this. You might be able to hear it. I'll show you a picture on the screen in a second, but you might be able to hear it. So yeah, the turbo is screwed, so that has to come off. And what I'm pretty sure happened, this thing had a pretty good life. It saw 9s, and this is the original $260 eBay 7875 that's been on the car since I put it together. So it had a good life. What I'm pretty sure happened with it is just bearing clearances got wore out, and then the shaft probably started to flex, and one of the blades just barely touched the housing, and as soon as that did, it just shattered. The thing is, I'm almost guaranteeing that a little bit of that turbo went through the engine, but the engine seems fine. I do think this winter, because I think the car is probably done for this year, so I do think this winter I'll pull the heads off and look at everything. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it, because like I said, I think that the car's probably done this year. Which is fine. We've got some other things to play with. We've got Jack Black all back together, so we'll probably mess around with him for the rest of the year. We got the Monte Carlo, which I do want to have the transmission rebuilt in that, just so that I know, and change the shifter in it. But aside from that, that thing's pretty much good to go. And we've got the Farmer's Daughter S10 that just needs a transmission, and then we can have some fun with that. So there's definitely no shortage of cars to make videos with. I definitely think it's about time to upgrade anyway. This thing was pretty well maxed out, because we went 140 with this thing making 20 pounds of boost. So I think once we get a better turbo on it, we should be able to go about the same mile an hour on like 15, 16 pounds of boost, I'm hoping. But I think I'm going to completely remake the turbo kit. I'll probably just shelf this for now and use it for something else in the future, something that I'm not trying to go super fast with. But yeah, I think I'm going to just completely unbolt all this, get a new turbo for it, probably like a VS 80 or 85, and we'll just make a new kit for it. So that's where we're at with this, and then also over winter I need to cage it, and I kind of want to back half the car so I can fit a real tire on it, because the widest I can fit right now is a 9. I've got an 8.5 slicks for it over there, but I'd like to fit a true 28-10-5 on it. And then I kind of want to redo the front steering and figure out something for some proper adjustable coilovers up front. And then finally, what I probably put for the thumbnail, we have this little Cyclone here. And this thing is pretty rad. So if you remember that Trailblazer SS that I was doing, this belongs to the same guy, Neil. And this thing is a wicked little ripper. Most of you already are familiar with Cyclones. If you're not, they came out in early 90s, I believe, and they were all-wheel drive turbo V6, and they were super cool. This one, however, is a little bit cooler. Let me show you. So, it has been 4-linked. It has a really nice 4-link in it, actually. It has a really nice, almost complete interior with a shifter that I'd like to have in the RX-7, honestly. That one has the 2 buttons at the front. But here's my favorite part. What is under this hood? This thing has some real trick Ring Brothers hood pins. But check this out. Look at all that chocolate in this peanut butter. That is a supercharged LSA crate engine. And it is stuffed in this little Cyclone. Now the cool part about this is that it has a 4L80 behind it, and it's still all-wheel drive. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see down there, but it is still all-wheel drive. It has Viking double adjustable shocks on all 4 corners. Like I said earlier, 4-linked. The heat exchangers down there at the bottom, under there. It's on a Holley Dominator right now, and basically it just needs to be finished and everything gone through. So I need to go through, finish all the wiring for the engine, for stuff inside. It has the 7-inch Holley dash. I need to wire up the fuel system. It has a complete Hooker Blackheart exhaust system for it. That is all this huge box that goes way up there, that hopefully doesn't need any modifications. It should just bolt in, I'm hoping. Probably not the case. That's usually not the case with things when they say they're bolt in. Here's a vintage air system that I've never messed with, so this is going to be kind of tricky, I think. They're supposed to be pretty simple, but you know, I'm sure I'll find some way to be stupid about it. There's a cold air intake and electronic fuel, a light bar. Don't know what the light bar is for. Catch can. And I just talked to him. He does have all the body kit and everything at his place. Once we're done with it, he'll come out and put it all on. But yeah, I thought you guys would get a kick out of this thing. So I don't know how many videos we're going to do on this, just because a lot of this is just going to be real monotonous wiring and stuff like that. Nothing exciting like fabricating. But I just thought this thing was pretty rowdy, and I thought you guys would like it. Because that should be like a 650 horsepower crate engine in there. All-wheel drive in, it's got to be like 3,000 to 3,200 pounds right here. So this thing would be fucking rowdy. And I like it. I like it a lot. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and clicking that bell. We'll see you next time.